Well, it's morning time. I'm going to make myself a little trip over to the store. Looks like the neighbor's house got sold. It won't be long before it's turned into another one of these stupid mech boxes. Oh well. Anyway. So, one of the most important things that I've found is being around the right people. If you get around the wrong people, there's a pretty good chance that, well, you're not going to do so well. And you can see this a lot with different groups, certain neighborhoods, for example. Looks like Amazon's on the way. You know, one of the most important concepts, and again, I'm not trying to say that you have to understand this, but if you've read the Bible, you know that idea that bad associations spoil useful habits. Many people will say, oh, I'm trying to improve my health, I'm trying to eat better, I'm trying to do all these things, but every time I get around people that I know, I'm going to be tempted. Tempted by what? I don't know. Tempted by duck food? That's hard to imagine. But duck food, I don't think that's really a good temptation. I just can't imagine anybody wanting to eat duck food. I mean, really. Is that even a thing? Okay. So, if you're one of those people that's tempted by duck food, you're going to have to take extreme measures. Now, I had an email from someone today that asked me, what do you do when you're tempted to go off the carnivore diet? And I had to truthfully answer, I don't know. I just don't have that experience. I've never been tempted to go off the carnivore diet. I don't know why I would want to go off the carnivore diet. To me, that seems like the only way to go. Yep. So, I figured out that's it. So I get an email back again. Well, why did you go plant-based for a while? Because as you know, if anyone's seen my interviews or seen any of the numerous comments that I've made, back in 93, I did go on a plant-based diet. So they say, why would you do that? Well, I did it for a few reasons. The first reason is that after Hurricane Andrew, I was living with my parents, and every day, as I was eating my diet, I kept getting all these things about, well, you should eat some fruit. You don't eat any vegetables. You need to take vitamins. And all these things. And in reality, my parents were pretty healthy at the time. My dad always was healthy. You know, we built a house together. My mom, she had cancer, but she had gotten better. She had recovered from that. I was doing reasonably well. So realistically, it's like, well, are you really going to be healthy if you keep eating the carnivore diet? So that was the whole idea. Should I continue to eat the carnivore diet or not? Hey, what's this? For sale by owner. Look at that van. $7,900? You gotta be kidding me. That ain't worth no $7,900. Look at this beat up old thing. And it's gas too. Ridiculous. There's no way in the world that that's worth $7,900. When I paid less than $2,000, I think it was like $1,500 or I don't remember, $1,800 for the van that I now have. And that was back in 2010. Oh well. You can see the old house, they tore that down. Now it's an empty lot. And it'll sit there until the next drug dealer decides to build a new house. Real smart. So, think about it. Are you tempted by the duck food? And no, I'm not. So anyway, this person emails me back about my plant-based diet. And I said, instead of explaining it here, I need to make a video about it. Now, I'm still struggling with the computer hardware I have to be able to edit videos in a way that looks good, add images, and all this stuff. So it may be a long time before I do make a video about it. But being with my parents after Hurricane Andrew influenced me to start a plant-based diet. And the idea was to prove once and for all whether it was better or not. So I tried my best, and it was just one of those things. And all this time, everyone said, fruits and vegetables are going to make you healthier and stronger. And I've always been a little bit self-conscious about how skinny I am. And they said, my mother used to say I was too thin. Boy, there's a lot of for sale signs lately. This is really strange. Got the protest signs for the school they want to expand. Honestly, I don't care. Public hearing, I guess I'll go if I get a chance. But a lot of people just kept telling me, you gotta eat the fruits and vegetables and the whole grains and all that stuff. And I had kind of reached my limit. Unlike today, if they would have told me that today, I would have said, go to YouTube, and I want you to look at some YouTube channels. I want you to look at Dr. Anthony Chafee, Dr. Sean Baker. And if you like country types, you can have Dr. Ken Berry, although I never really watch his videos. And you have a lot of other choices that you can watch. But the sad thing is, I didn't have that back then. So what I did, I just went ahead and tried it. And my dad had me drinking vegetable juice and doing all these other things. I tried eating beans. I got super sick. Avocados. It's really hard for me to eat avocados without vomiting. The apples, the pears, all that stuff. Just the thought of that fruit makes me want to throw up. And it really is kind of sad when you think about it, because there's really nothing that you can do to force yourself to eat that nasty stuff. So anyway, that's what I was dealing with. And this light fixture is still sitting here. It's been here forever. Oh well. It's been there for almost a year. So, anyway. Yeah. I gave it my best shot. And in the end, I lasted about 7 months. Plant-based diet was okay at first, even though the food tasted positively awful. I wasn't feeling bad. And I actually felt pretty good. Because when I started it, I was still eating eggs and cheese and yogurt. And I felt good. The thing is, there were certain foods I couldn't eat. One of them, of course, is pasta. Pasta always makes me feel sick. I mean, it tastes awful. So the only way you can make it edible is by putting a bunch of cheese on it or tomato sauce. But it is an awful tasting food. Oatmeal is another one that's awful. But I always believed that good food had to taste bad. So I would let the oatmeal harden and then chew it up like it was some kind of paste. Swallow it down with water. Hello, duckies. Look at those duckies. So, you do the best you can. Well, in the end, All that plant-based food made me feel absolutely awful. So I had to give up. Got the worst flu of my life. Now today, 2 of the guys I work with, they're suffering the flu. So it kind of reminds me of what I went through back then. But anyway, let's see. Nope. There's a lot going on here, and it takes a little bit of time to figure it out, in my opinion. So anyway, I will eventually make a detailed video about why I went plant-based. Time will tell. Yep, my biggest regret is this. I didn't have these resources when I was trying to convince my parents to try the carnivore diet, and I didn't have that resource when I wanted to talk to other people about my diet. So I felt guilty about it for years, until finally I got over it. And I got to the point where I didn't care. Now I'm at the point where I'm trying to get other people to listen, but I'm not having a whole lot of success. I'm still waiting for that first person that's going to meet me and say, I saw you on the internet. Still hasn't happened. Anyway, I'll talk to you later.